Darren Shaw, and we're here with the juniors out today. How are you feeling seeing your junior side 5-0, well, going on 5-0?
Yeah, look, it's a fantastic effort with the juniors, and look, all the credit has to go to the junior coaches, Daniel Pollard and his staff under him. I mean, 2 years ago we couldn't field a junior team, so he's been able to bring it back, and this year we're 5-0, looking good. They've done a fantastic job. As you can see, they're on the new field, rolling field, that every year is just getting better with improvements, which we'll see later. We've got the new canteen up and running that wasn't there for seniors. Makes a big difference, and we'll have a look at the rooms a bit later that have finished the renovations there, which is all about developing these guys and giving them everything they need. And look, he's done a fantastic job. They've just scored again behind us, and you couldn't ask any more from the junior coaches and the way they're developing the squad, because it is the future of the club. And
now, on the topic of the future of the club, I mean, you were saying me off camera before exactly how much that you've been planning this out. So what does this mean in a step towards the future for the Berwick Miners and GV in general? Yeah, look,
we started a long time ago sort of road mapping where we want to go and how to do it. It started with the junior development squad. We've got, as I said, we didn't have a team 2 years ago. Biggest problem with that was coaches, so we identified the coaches, people who wanted to do it. Their enthusiasm and motivation has got them to 5-0 now. To support that, it's not just the off-field things like the field we've got and the council support and the equipment, as in we've got hitting sleds in, we've got ball machines in that they use. It's also about developing our coaches. As I was saying earlier, we're bringing back John Murphy, who's a life member of Gridiron Victoria. He was a long-term Victorian state team junior coach, developed the Down Under Bowl, Australian junior coach. He's a coach's accreditor as well. So he's coming back to the club in 2013 to help develop Daniel Pollard and his coaches further. Bit of a succession plan too. Our whole idea is not just the players come up to seniors, but eventually our senior coaches, we have to have a succession plan. These junior coaches, that's what they're about. They won't play forever. We want them to move on to become senior coaches. John Murphy's role is to mentor these coaches and coaches that come after them, identify some other older players in our senior team instead of leaving the sport, come into the junior program. John's role will also be to develop our, we're hoping to get a seconds team in, like the Barbarians and the Stars. We'll call them their reserves team. John's role will be to develop that as well, develop coaches for that. Maybe some of these junior coaches will move on to the reserves team, move on to seniors. Then also, we've had discussions with him about him developing a flag competition. John was involved in junior since its inception back in 1994. A lot of people, and I think everyone in the league would agree, he's almost a father figure in regards to junior development in the state. We think he's the right man to try and kick off flag football and our reserves concept and further develop our junior squad. Be a great bonus for the club, and especially for Daniel Pollard and his crew at the moment. They'll just keep getting better with John as a mentor, and of course overseeing John is also Mel Martin. Mel's our coaching director, not just our head coach. But Mel accredits all our coaches in-house. He's now got John under him that we can do that in a better manner as well now, because we've got the two of them. They'll work with each other, and hopefully the next 3 to 5 years we'll see. I don't know, but it's black and orange, so it can't be a bad thing.
Go on,
if we digress. But the next 3 to 5 years should be exciting, with the things we're doing, for our squads and the people we're putting in place. And then we've got further developments with the council as well. That we haven't just settled for getting this awesome ground that just keeps getting better, and the renovated rooms. We've got our old field that's going to be regenerated and levelled off. And all good.
Well, KC are helping you out immensely, and that's what I've really noticed here. Of course, like you say, you're trying to get 2 fields. What does it mean to the juniors, or just everyone involved in the club, to have such an influential structure and people like John to really be on board?
Look, I think it's just stability. Look, probably 2 years ago when we didn't have juniors, we'd lost some people from the club. And that's a big thing with all clubs. It's not just our club. You need to keep those people who are finishing playing up. You need to keep the older heads in the clubs and keep them motivated too, and give them something to stay there. So stability is the key. The coaches know they can come to the committee and there's plans for them in the future. If the coaches say they want some U-Butte equipment and it might be a pricey piece of equipment, that we might say we can't get it overnight, but we will strive to get it. We'll raise money to get it. You know, Mel Martin said 4 years ago, I'd like a 6-man hitting sled.
Yeah.
Took us 2 years, and we achieved it. You know, then he said, I'd love a ball machine. You know, $4,000 later, we got it. You know, we got that quicker than we thought, through a generous donation for people who don't want to be named. But you know, we got the ball machine, and it's about having people in place that all the coaches, juniors and seniors, and now John Murphy can come to us and say, I've got this idea and it's a sound idea and it's a good idea. We need this to do it. With a stable club and ability to raise money, ability to have people in right places, you can go and get it or work towards getting it. And they feel confident within their club that, hey, I'm not doing everything, although everybody probably does too much, the people that are doing things, and that'll always be the case. But at least they know there's support there. They're not going to get knocked on the head every time they ask for something, because sometimes the requests might be outlandish. You know, even our training camp, you know, the last couple we've had here at the ground for the senior training camp, and they stay here on site. You know, we had one off-site a couple of years ago. With things we've done around the club, we haven't been able to afford to go off because our club pays for the training camp to make it compulsory. We're working towards an off-site place in 214 for the coaches to take them away. You know, so sometimes, you know, some of the things that are asked for are pretty expensive, and these clubs don't have the money. But we work towards it, and that's the main thing. They're achievable if you have the people to continue to drive towards it, and I think that's the biggest key, stability. You know, if you have a stable committee and people in those positions for a long time, you get that stability. If you've got people swapping and changing, you have new ideas coming in all the time, old ideas thrown out, and you don't have stability. Coaches don't know if they're Arthur or Martha, and the next thing it all goes pear-shaped.
Well, with that stability, you're looking, well, you already are, they've had 4 training sessions. Do you want to tell us about the Diamonds? Yeah,
the Diamonds, that's the, our women's team. They sort of born out of, you know, there was 2 different leagues going, or ideas of leagues going around earlier in the year. We had the LFL, we had LGL, we had all these things going on. We sort of had looked at both. The LFL, I think, fell to the wayside. LGL have taken it up. We have partnered with LGL, albeit our Diamonds will play in full gear. I've had 4 training sessions at the moment. We've averaged 16 to 20 girls. They're coming along. Mel Martin's coaching them. They're coaching the basics at the moment. So there's still a fair way till they're in full gear, with a vision of hopefully in the new year they can maybe have a game against the Western Foxes out there. Look, there's been some misconception that we're more aligned because we are partnering with the LGL, that we're more interested in the lingerie football league type of thing from America. That's not the case. LGL have their plans along those lines. That's separate to the Berwick Diamonds. But look, they'll certainly be in full gear, full kit, exactly the same as the Foxes. As soon as the league develops, the women's league in general, and promotes it, and we'll be ready to go. And the girls are excited. They're a good bunch. They're learning something new, and it's certainly different for our coaches and in how they teach the methods of how to block and how to shed blocks and things. They can't sort of go too hands-on like they do with the boys, which presents its own unique sort of problems for the coaches. But it's been quite humorous to watch some of the coaches, how they get around that. But look, the girls are excited, and I think it'll be a good thing. It's going to take time. Look, it's a hard sport, and I'm sure, like the men, we'll get, you know, some girls come in and they'll come and go, you know, for a little while, but we'll get there. You know, we're plodding along. We're the only girls team this side of the city, and we've got the Foxes the other side that are doing fantastic. And we hope to be, you know, in 3-4 months' time, be able to do something with them.
Okay, so come 214, 215, would you be surprised if I told you something like, oh yeah, you have a 70-man senior squad, you have a reserve side, junior squad and women's squad? Would that surprise you at all?
No, it wouldn't surprise me. I think the sport's growing. How things are going at the moment with the league, I think are pretty good. If we continue the advertising on TV and this show as well, I think, same again, I think it's stability. We can't just go one season to the next. 1 minute we advertise, next minute we don't. You know, we've jumped in boots and all, and we need to continue to do that as a league. TV show too, I think as a league and all the clubs need to strive to continue to have this show going and support it. And I think over a long term, it will benefit all of us. And I'm sure, you know, at league level, we get things right and we really sit down and look at pros and cons of every good idea and make the right choices. You're right, we will have those sort of participation rates. But we've got to be careful how we do that. We can't rush. Look, I've been involved in since 1985. We have a tendency to rush. We have a tendency to let our excitement overrule our brains. And we just got to settle and do it carefully. And I think we can do what you're saying. We can end up with every club having 2 squads and 70 members and a women's league and we've got juniors. Juniors could grow to 11-man football even. You know, in 18 years we haven't had that. You know, maybe in 3 years' time we do.
Do you think maybe the community base can grow to a fan base in a way?
Look, over time, yeah. Look, you know, I think we're, what, 2 or 3 years off 30 years. Look, it can. It's been a lot better than this in the past and it can be better than this in the future. And the only way it'll be worse is if we're not careful. That's pretty much it. And, you know, if we're careful and we make the right choices, sky's the limit. Sure, we're not going to be AFL, we're not going to be even probably rugby league, you know, but yeah, we could probably get 100, 200 to a game maybe.
You look at the Vic Bowl, you know, you got a big crowd out to that.
Look, that's right, and I think that was a great step this year, you know, returning back to Moorabbin. You know, we used to play there in the mid-90s. Yeah, we played a couple of grand finals there. We won one, lost one. You know, we had a 4th of July game there on a Tuesday night. You know, there was 3,000 people turned up in the rain on a Tuesday night, 4th of July. But the thing is, stability, I keep saying that word. The league's got to be stable, clubs have got to be stable. We've got to have good ideas and implement those carefully. You do all that and, hey, it'll grow and everyone will be happy. Okay, well, speaking of stability, do you want to show us around the new facilities? Yeah, we'll go down and have a look at the new rooms and, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, this is Doug Miles Pavilion. It's been renovated during the senior season. We had a bit of pain, which most of the league would tell you. It's been finished, juniors have benefited from it. So we'll go inside and have a look. Even the referees have got a new outside umpires room with a shower and toilet in there, so they're happy. Although it's a little bit small, but we'll go and have a look. The refs are all smiling down here, so they must be happy with their new rooms, I don't know. But at least they can shower and toilet anyway. So, yeah, so the outside of the room stayed the same, although they've made improvements inside. The change rooms are bigger, which we'll see once we get down that end. The refs will wave with their nice U-Butte rooms here now, with a shower and everything, and toilets. So this is a new social room. They've taken out some other things. They've redone the bar, obviously. Made it slightly bigger. That's obviously our honour wall is up there. I think we're the only club to have an honour wall. We've taken that from the Aussie Rules clubs. That we might be an American sport, but you know, from the Aussie Rules club, we're proud of our past and our players and the club, so we show everything off, which is a fantastic result. In through here, they've redone our kitchen. For those that remember the kitchen, it's a bit bigger and all ramped up a bit more, so it's a bit more rooms. So once we get the old field up and going, certainly great kitchen, and it's good for social events anyway. So. Yeah, well, it's what you're talking about. It's literally building a club rather than a team. Well, it is. So, you know, heaps bigger, heaps more room. We can do more cooking, have bigger functions here. That's terrific. So we move along. Changes down the right-hand corner. We've got now toilets go through there. That used to just go to the external outside of the room. So, yeah, toilets are toilets. You don't need to see them. The new hallway, those that will remember, used to come out to toilets and things. It's a new coaches committee room. So we have our meetings in here. There's usually tables, but they're out at the field at the moment. But, so yeah, new coaches and things. We're putting up a TV on the wall with DVD players, so the coaches can review film. Even on game day, when we film our games, they could come down and have a look at it if they want to at half time. Okay. So that'll be up for senior season. So who made the initial steps to make this happen? Initially it was between us and the cricket club. So negotiation with myself, David Enning from the cricket club. We've got to thank Councillor Shah Barnes. They had an election last week. I'm pretty sure she's got back in. Been fantastic for both clubs, the cricket club and us. So yeah, we approached her first, and after 25 years, we finally got them renovated. Let's keep going. Keep going. So eventually we'll have the big Miners logos up the top here as well. This is our away team rooms. Players that have been in the league for a while would remember this wall here where you're standing at the moment. There was a wall here, so the rooms are slightly bigger. Carpeted, they've got heaters now for winter. Through to showers, so the players can now actually shower after games. So, yes. Come in here.
I mean, might be asking, but how much did it cost?
It was $500,000.
Where did it come from?
Yeah, council. Every dollar was from council. Went over budget. It was originally $400,000 or thereabouts was the budget. Blew out to close to $500,000. Yeah, they had some difficulties with different things, but they got it done, and hey, you can't complain.
How much of a difference will this make for the seniors? Like, come next season?
Oh, look, the seniors will just make such a huge difference. For starters, you've got heaters and things. You know, they're not going to whinge about being hot or cold. These are the home side rooms. If you can see the divider there, they're the proper good solid dividers that come through, which then opens up the two rooms massively. So even on the poor nights, they can do walkthroughs in here. Good chalk talks. We've got the whiteboards on the wall, obviously. We've got other whiteboards. Same again, showers through there.
I've heard that one sung before.
Yeah, that hasn't been finished yet. We've got to put that up higher. We're going to get our logo put on the wall as well, with the helmet logo, as well as the Diamonds logo.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll get both of those put up there.
One entity, is it?
Yeah, it is the one entity. The Diamonds are under us. Yeah. They're inclusive of the club. The club, you know, embraces them, and so we'll put both logos up. And get them going. So, yeah, it's fantastic. Same again through here, just showers again.
Yeah. Would you say that this is probably one of the biggest steps that any GV club's ever made?
Look, it has. It is. Best facilities in this state.
Yeah.
The other states haven't been interstate for Gridiron for a long, long time, but, you know, some of them are playing at rugby fields and all that, which no doubt would have good setups. Yeah. But as far as Victoria goes, second to none. Sure. And sure, they're new and all that, but hey, they're going to be like this for a long time, and you know it just makes us the premier venue in the state as far as the actual clubs go. You know, we can't compete with hiring big venues, but sure, as a local level.
Is there anything else you have to show?
I think that's pretty much it, Danny.
If there's a closing statement, what would you say this would do in the future for us?
Look, what this does in the future, it just gives us a stable environment, a nice environment that people can come down, and especially, you know, we're in juniors at the moment, the parents come down and they see a great facility, they see great training equipment, you know, good coaches that look the part with good support behind them, that, you know, the parents, you know, may go and look at other clubs and go, hey, we're going back to that other club. Yeah. You know, they've got some success at junior level, they're building seniors, they've got all the U-Butte equipment, they've got, you know, these fantastic rooms. You know, one thing I haven't touched on, you know, we've got Brad Wing in the States at the moment. His father, David, played with us. Yep. You know, he's a miner. We converse with him a fair bit. We've got Jason Kerfurst, who just saw him just turn up before. That's part of Oz scholarships, you know, try and get people scholarships overseas. He's just taken up that role in the last month or so. Yep. You know, he's ex-Northern Illinois University strength and conditioning football coach. He's coming back to the club. You know, it's exciting stuff. You know, we're still in a container out there. We've still got the gym to bring in yet. So it's exciting stuff. You know, people need to come down, have a look. You know, closing statement, yes, amongst GV, we're probably the Collingwood or Carlton of the league. Yep. You know, love to hate us. We don't mind that. Yep. But you get to know us and you'll know we're all about football. We're all about going forward, improvement, being the best we can be with the resources we've got, and I think we do that pretty well.
Well, one last question, mate. Where are you going to put the Vic Bowls?
Well, if you ask me where the Vic Bowls should be, it'll be here once we get our temporary grandstands, which we're also working towards that. That's another story for another time. You know, we've had 6 Vic Bowls here when the rooms were not as flash as they are now. Yeah. Look, I like Vic Bowls at places like Moorabbin and that. They are good if we can get the big crowds, but if, hey, we do that a few times and the crowds are not, you know, 3,000 plus, I'd be saying, hey, bring them back to local level and support the local clubs, and I'd certainly put our hand up and saying, hey, you can't get a better venue than here. Yeah. Even marquee games during the year, you know, especially when the second field's up and running in 2 years' time, we can have 4 games, 5 games, 6 games in one day. Yeah, and how soon before you actually win the Vic Bowl? When we win the Vic Bowl? Oh, look, with this, we like to think, you know, our plan is 3 years. Yeah. If everything keeps going the way it is, you know, we've got a roadmap, you know, and we're hopeful within 3 years. before that, we'll take it. You know, I'll go back to Collingwood, you know, Mick Moldhouse, you know, they got it a bit earlier than he thought. You know, we'd like that to happen, but look, we can only provide. You know, we can lead the horse to water. You know, and look, I was only watching a football show last night, you know, and it's all about the players. The players win football games. The club itself only provides the vehicle for them to win those games. It's up to the players. If we've got the people with the right mindset and determination and character, they'll win it. They'll win it, you know. And same again, it's stability. If we had the players we had 5 years ago, we had some of the biggest linemen going around the league. If they were here now, we would be unbeatable. But they're not here. We've got what we've got. We've got some good characters in the club. Determination, character and humiliation. We'll win it. And you know what? We're going through our humiliation. We accept that. But when the time comes, the juggernaut will hit. And then people can either love or hate us, and we're happy with that.
Thanks for joining us in the program.
No worries, Denny.